Hello, my fellow Spartans, or potentially future Spartans if you are not yet a Spartan. So this video is going to be talking a little bit about just what it took for me to transfer from open to age group. So if you are actively in the Spartan world, you know that there are three categories for racing. So the first category you have for Spartan racing is the open category. So literally anybody can do that. Anybody 14 and older, it's all shapes, sizes, abilities, anybody can do the open heat. They want you to do all the obstacles. They want you to do all the burpees if you can't do an obstacle. But I mean, people, you're not going to get penalized. You're not going to get disqualified. Like, unless you do something super unsportsmanlike or unsafe, you are going to be just fine. So the open heat is for anybody. Like for me, the first two races that I ran were open. I was like 1 month, 2 months out from hitting a 100-pound weight loss achievement when I ran my first Spartan race, which was just a Spartan sprint. So I think that one was when they were still kind of long. It was like closer to, I think it was like 4.4 miles or something. So I ran that in Boise, Idaho. It was terribly challenging. Even in the open wave, I actually didn't go through with anybody. I ran with, technically with some teammates from my gym. We started together, but I didn't stay with anybody. I got help on like everything. I didn't really think that I could do a lot of things. The walls, basically anything that involved like climbing over or something, I wasn't able to do by myself at the time. At that time, they did have the bender in sprints. It's no longer in sprints, or at least I haven't seen it in one since 2017 or so, maybe 2018, I'm not sure. So the bender, I got help on. The stairway to Sparta, I got help on. The inverted wall, I got help on. The 6-foot wall, the 7-foot wall, got help on both of those. The Olympus, I got help on that. Literally, I got help on everything. So I ran the Boise Spartan sprint in 2017, got help on everything, loved it though. And in my age group in the open, I got like top 10 or so. I think I got like 10th or something as far as times. I did do all of my penalty burpees. That race was my first race, and I actually did hit the spear, but I failed a lot of things. I failed the twister. I mean, there's some things obviously you can't get help on. So like the twister, the multi-rig, the monkey bars, Olympus, I failed all of those. So I think I did like 120 burpees or something in my first Spartan race. And I did do all of them at the time. I was in open. If I wouldn't have, nobody would have cared, honestly, but I did do them. So then the next race that I did was in Boise again, June 2018. I did open again. Again, I got help on pretty much everything. I think there's some things I was more able to do by myself, but I still like, help was available for the wall, so I took it. And then the next month, June 2018, was going to be the Utah Spartan. That was a national series race. And all I heard was like all of my gym mates saying how hot and miserable it was going to be if you couldn't get a morning heat. And morning heats were all sold out. So like all of them, and like many people do, I signed up for age group. Now, I have no running background. I was overweight my entire life. And I did do like basketball, and then I threw discus and shot put in track. I think I had a coach that made me do like a 100-meter dash once. That was awful when you're like 100 pounds overweight, but you know, whatever. So I had no background, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this age group heat. Why not? At that time, I was in the 25 to 29 heat. So I did it. I signed up. What I did do that I think is very important, like I hear people all the time saying that they signed up for age group because they wanted to run earlier. Great. That was also my reason for signing up in the age group heat. But what I did that I don't think a lot of people do, I read the rule book. I am a rule follower. I don't like breaking rules. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it right. And I committed to doing the like authentic, as it is supposed to be, age group heat. I read the rule book. I understood what was going to be required of me, and I did it. So also what I did was as soon as the map came out for the race, I actually went onto YouTube and I made a playlist of all the obstacles that were going to be there. I found footage of whatever obstacles I could. I put them in order. I made a playlist. I still have it actually on a different YouTube channel, but I'll link it below. So I made this playlist, and I like I learned how to do them. So they were kind of like how-to videos. So like the twister, the walls, I had no idea how to get over a wall, and this was going to be a super. So it was very likely I was going to have a 6, 7, and 8 foot wall. The bender I struggled with, didn't really know how to do that. The Olympus I struggled with. And so I made a playlist of all these videos and I watched them over and over and over to learn techniques, because I knew if I was going to do an age group heat, I would not be getting help, and I was not about to do a billion burpees. So that's the thing. You're ready to do age group if you're ready to do your burpees. That's all it requires. If you are willing to try things on your own, to attempt every single obstacle, to go through the mud pits, to go through the dunk wall, all that, and you're not planning to carry your phone and all that nonsense and stop and take pictures, that's another thing. Like, yeah, you can do age group as long as you do your burpees, but if you're going to go an age group, please be competitive. I personally, as a serious age group runner, yes, to each their own race, whatever. Don't be out there taking pictures with your friends. You're getting in the way. That's my problem. Like, if you're stopping and taking pictures with your friends, you're getting in my way. Please don't. So if you're going to run age group, please take it seriously. Even if you're doing it just simply for a morning time, take it seriously. If you run age group, the rules say you cannot remove anything from your person and put it to the side. If you're going through the dunk wall, you have your phone, it's going with you. If you don't want that, don't go in age group. You can't be setting your pack off to the side. You can't set it to the side and go through the dunk wall. You can't take it off while you do the barbed wire crawl. You can't take it off while you do anything. You have to, well, you take it off. You have to have it with you. So if you're not willing to do that, then you cannot sign up for age group. I mean, you can, but you're breaking the rules. If you can't get over walls and stuff by yourself, that's totally fine. Please don't shy away from age group just because you can't do every obstacle. I could not. I still cannot do the Olympus wall. I've done it one time. I have successfully completed it one time. That was the Utah Spartan 2019 age group race. Other than that, I only got in twister like 3 times, I think. Most of the other things I can get now, but there's not a guarantee. I still sometimes struggle with things like the vertical cargo because now it has the platform. That can be really challenging. But most of the other things I can get. Please don't shy away from age group just because you can't do it. Because if you race age group, you're going to push yourself, and eventually you will get motivated and you'll put in the work that you need to be able to get that obstacle done. It takes a lot of research for me anyway. I looked up a lot of like footage on YouTube, how-tos. I went to open houses whenever possible to learn how to do things, but I would not shy away from age group just because you can't complete every obstacle. I see this question come up all the time, like, when do I know I'm ready for age group? And I see people posting that like, well, you have to be able to do all the obstacles. No, that's not the truth. Even some of the elites fail some obstacles sometimes. Not very often, but they do. I fail. I've had, I think, 1 clean race. A lot of times it's been just missing the spear, like for sprint, but I fail things. And I've still been able to get 3 age group podiums in my 25 to 29 age group. I'm now in the 30 to 34 age group, although I've only ran 2 races because of not having a 2020 season. I still place towards the top. I think I got like 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th. Maybe those were around the places for my 4 races I did. You don't have to be able to do every obstacle seamlessly. If you can't, that's fine. You do have to be willing to do your 30 burpees. You have to be willing to do them right. And that's it. You have to be willing to take the penalties. And here's the thing. I had several races that I did pretty well in that I still did a lot of burpees. Like I think Seattle Beast 2019, I got 5th place and my hands were super torn up. I missed at least I think I missed the twister, the multi-rig, the monkey bars. Like I think I did 90 to 120 burpees and I still got 5th place. So just because you're still doing burpees doesn't mean that you can't do well. Another question I hear, like how fast do you need to be? And I hear this on podcasts all the time. I hear elite athletes who often never even ran age group. I hear them saying like you need to be able to run like sub whatever pace to compete as an age group athlete. Not true. I don't think that you need to be any certain speed. My very first race that I podiumed in was the Montana Sprint 2019. At that time, I had no formal run training. I didn't have like a Spartan coach. I was just kind of running whenever I ran and that was it. And I was still able to podium after doing a beast the day before. I'm not some gifted, amazing athlete, but I do work really hard and I'm willing to put in the time, the effort, the research that it takes to try to be the best in my age group. And my point was, I hear a lot of like elite athletes on these podcasts, which I love. Lots of podcasts I love. Reinforced running, running public, love those podcasts. Lots of good advice. But like, you don't have to be able to run a sub 9 mile. Just simply compete in the age group. Who cares if you're last? Like, I think the best part about being an age group athlete is knowing that you are out there by yourself trying your very best. Like, you're ready to do age group if you're okay with being alone. I mean, in a Spartan race, you're never like actually alone, right? There's always people around you. I'm always still like trying to lift the people around me up. But like, if you are ready to run a race without having your friends around you and without getting help, and you're ready to just work hard, then you're ready for age group. So my first age group race, as I mentioned earlier, was the Utah 2018 National Series race, 25 to 29 age group, and I got 11th place. And I did 120 burpees, and I was not super fast at that point. I had literally only ever ran 8 miles or like anything over 6, I think like 2 or 3 times. And if you were at that race, or if you know anybody that was, that race was brutal. It was dusty, it was steep, it was miserable. It took me 3 hours and 8 minutes for a super. At that time, I think it was closer to like 10 miles. I don't really know. I can't remember the distance. I think, no, it was still 8 something. I think it was still under 9, but at that time they weren't the 10K. So yeah, I cried at the end a lot. It was hot, miserable. I was dehydrated. It was pretty terrible at the time. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. But I got so excited to keep doing age group, but I never went back. So I think if you're ready to work hard, you're ready to do the race on your own, and you're ready to commit to doing the penalties, then you're definitely ready for age group. I don't think you need to have a certain like mile pace that you're able to run. I don't think you really need to think about obstacle completion or speed. Now that's probably way different than what most people have heard, but I think that those things come with becoming an age group racer, because after I became an age group racer, I got more and more serious, and the better I did, the more committed I got. Things have changed for me a lot. I actually do have dedicated like run coaching. I have a Spartan specific run coach that also does my strength programming. So things have gotten a lot more serious for me, but they never would have gotten that serious if I never would have switched to age group. So I don't think you need to run X amount of open races. I don't think you need to have X amount of clean races. I hear that all the time, clean race, clean race. You need a clean race before you can run age group. Literally, if that was the thing, I would have not ran an age group race before, I don't know, November 2019. My first ever clean race was the Sacramento Sprint 2019. I've done a lot of races. I just haven't had very many clean ones. Not bragging about that, hoping to change that, but just saying it's not necessary. I still was able to make it to the World Championship race. I still was able to do pretty well in some national series races. Like, it's not necessary. So if you're ready to commit to penalties and doing it on your own, then you're definitely ready for age group. I'm super excited to keep posting some videos about like what it takes to have that transition, and a lot of other race content. Some other things I'm going to talk about are like what you learn from being an age group racer, which I kind of touched on today, as well as like some important things you might need to do to prepare. Also touched on that, like reviewing obstacle how-tos and those type of things. That's a question that I see a lot. Like, when am I ready to go from open to age group? And I think my opinion is a lot different than others, but I feel like personally I've had a good amount of success. Yes, I only have 3 podiums in my age group races, but I have a lot of top 10 finishes. And considering that I came from 100 pounds overweight and from no running background, I think that's pretty okay. And what got me there was this. It was my mind. It wasn't my speed. It wasn't my strength. Sure, those things help, but it was my mind that allowed me to work hard and keep working my way up the ladder. And every time I placed a little bit better, it motivated me to work harder to place even better the next race. So I hope that you guys will definitely consider doing age group if you're ready for that commitment. If you want to keep doing open with your friends and you just do it for fun, not to be competitive, totally fine. Keep doing that. I am super excited to hopefully see many of you in Jacksonville, where I will be doing the super and the sprint. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those below. You guys can follow me on Instagram at ambermay_OCR. I'll pop that here. I can't wait to share more content with you. If you have any other video ideas, things that you want to know about Spartan racing, again, please leave those in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Bye.